I'm going to be honest, this is take 4 on this video, and it's been a very hard video for me to like think my way through properly. Probably the hardest video that I've had to record to date. I want to talk about something that came up I found on the Cozy Gamers subreddit a couple weeks ago and how it affects me here, now, in the present. And blah. Blah. So, you have this whole question of what YouTubers do you actually trust the game recommendations of? Which is, to me, a bit silly because, game recommendations are very personal. Like, I would recommend games to you if you like X or Y, but not if you like A or B, right? If you're a fan of A and B, maybe stay away from this game. X and Y, you probably like it, or you might like it. But there's a bigger issue with this whole system. And that is that, well, as a YouTuber, we'll see here if we read through this comment. As a YouTuber, I am incentivized to only give positive reviews. If I give negative reviews, first of all, some people in the audience will hate me for that, and they will disbar the channel forever. They'll never come back, and all of that stuff. We've seen plenty of that recently. It's not really the whole thing. But the bigger reason that we are disincentivized from doing that is because of review keys and getting the games early and all of this stuff. And this really wasn't a thing for me until very recently. I've been given 2 keys early now. One was for Palia, despite the fact that I forgot to put in the key and only realized because I couldn't log into that account. But don't worry, I had my own account that was already in the closed beta. So, oops. But the other one is a video that I want to put out tomorrow, which is my first impressions of Critter Cove. Spoiler alert, I was given the game key for free to review the game. Now, I wanted to get out in front of that video with a bigger video on this topic, right? Sorry if this just seems like a bunch of rambling. I'm trying to go through my own thoughts as I do all of this, but it's tricky. It's very tricky. So, I've been given a game key by X publisher because they think that me talking about their game can increase their sales, and it only costs them 1 game key. So if they make 2 sales, they've already made back all the money, well, some of the money for that game key, because technically there's a bunch of in-betweens there. But don't worry, we're not getting into that. What happens if I don't like the game? What happens if I think the game is bad? Well, I have 2 options. I can say something positive there. I can say something positive about the game. Fix that. Or I can say something negative about the game. If I say something positive about the game, my chances of getting other game keys in the future or getting things like advertisements from game companies, those go up because I'm increasing their sales. I'm potentially increasing them. I'm playing by their rules. But what's the downside of this? Well, normal, everyday people see that and they'll go out and buy the games. And then they'll suddenly be like, what was that guy talking about? And my reputation goes down. That's not good for me, right? But what happens if I say something negative? Well, sort of the opposite. Other people in the community say, hey, yeah, I agree with that. Like, viewers, thank you for saying this about the game. I wish I'd seen this earlier, or this stopped me from buying the game and I saw other people do it and it was awful. And my reputation goes up. But what happens on the other end of that? Well, hate to say it, but publishers watch. They see that and they go, oh, this guy he'll make negative videos. He's not going to bring sales to the game, so we're not going to give him a key. And sorry about all the vocal stuff. I usually cut all this out. I want this to all be one thing. I'm not really going to edit it. Apologies. So yeah, they don't give keys out to that person anymore. And what's that do? Well, I'm already a week behind Josh's Game Garden, whatever that channel's called. Josh's channel on Critter Cove by a week. And I got that on time. Why did I delay that video? That was for me reasons that we'll get into in a little bit because it is important. But I'm behind them by a week right now. Can you imagine how bad it would be to try to review the game? To give coverage as the game, as that is my job essentially on the channel, despite the fact that I'm not being paid for it right now. But that's my job. I can't do my job if I'm not given the game at all. I have to then buy it when it comes out months after other people. And that's very not good for me. So these publishers and developers have the ability to just kill the channel, basically. So I am very strongly incentivized to be positive about everything. And this isn't just me, this is every content creator about stuff, whether or not they want to mention it or not. So I got the key, wanted to make a video about it. Critter Cove. Why didn't the video come out last week? Well, I spent the time since getting the Critter Cove game and playing through it and trying to figure out my everything, working on revamping my website that I've had since like mid 2022. Specifically, I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple changes that are coming. And some of these might not seem related. Everything's sort of related. YouTube News, this channel that you're on, is now going to be about farming sims, life sims, and indie games exclusively. It already was, but you'll see how this all comes back in. Streams and videos will also reflect this change. We're adding another stream, and we can look over here. So this week there might be less videos, probably not as many actual like relevant videos to games, but there will be less videos as I work on bringing more streams to this channel and also work on 2 to 3 scripted videos a week on this channel, as well as some cut discussions from those 2 streams. This is down from having 1 palia stream a week on this channel, but 2 farming sim streams on my Twitch channel. Where did we go? So there's going to be no more farming sim, life sim, or indie games on my Twitch channel unless I'm specifically streaming with other people who are doing that. So if I'm streaming with Novus Nox, who I stream with sometimes, and we wanted to play Sunhaven or really any other game, we'll still do that over there, but it won't be related to this channel. It'll be related to the Twitch stream and the conversations that we have with each other. So separating the Twitch stream and the YouTube news. If you just want to see the farming and the life sim and the indie stuff, you can stay here. We will have 2 streams a week for that here. That also means more games will be coming here. It won't all be palia. We might even reduce the amount of palia that we have because we have palia once a week, but they've really only been giving us stuff to talk about once every other week. So maybe a bit less, but not sure right now. My gameplay channel, which has like 99 subscribers on it, nobody ever goes there and nobody watches it, is going to be more closely reflective of the Twitch stream, which it already was. It's mostly cut down from the streams. Little like narrative videos. The last major video that I put on there was my playthrough of the Pokemon Scarlet Violet DLC in a cut form. So yeah. And Yeah, my Twitch stream will also have probably one less stream a week on it just to make room for moving those streams over. And for like this week, it's more focused on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So I'm going to be playing that 3 days a week instead of having a different game every week. And this will hopefully bring me back to where I was before with making, streams about me playing through games and actually beating them and enjoying a lot of different content rather than feeling like I'm shoehorned in to all the farming sims on that channel. So we're separating this space. That's the first thing. The second thing, if we come to the contact, I've added a developer and a publisher email, as well as a non-developer, non-publisher suggestion email, and these will both come back to me. This is mostly just for convenience so that I don't lose emails, which was a problem in the past. But reputation's important. I made an entire section called news. Under this, I have different information about how I want to cover games. I have the list of types of games that I cover, so farming sim, life sim, indie games in that order with preference usually. But I talked about Timeline recently. Sure, people didn't like it, but it was an indie game, and I really liked it. So I talked about it. Deal with it. I also give my goals. I want to give an accurate depiction of the game at the time that I release a video. So this is sort of like the Sunhaven thing, where I made a video for 1.0, but I haven't made a video since then, despite the fact that a lot of the problems that I have with the game have been fixed in 1.2. And this has mostly been because I haven't been able to play the game with other people since then. But the biggest section that I'm working on, and this is very early, I want to give descriptions and how I'm rating with all of this, but I want to have a list of everything that we're actually covering in these reviews. And there's a couple things that I want to add to this, a couple things that maybe I shift around. So the art, how the game looks, obviously the music, story, atmosphere, how the game mechanics work individually as well as together, things like the settings, accessibility options, and controls across several inputs. I currently don't have an Xbox like 360 or any Xbox controller. Might get one of those in the future. Don't know, but it would absolutely help. And what am I thinking about adding to the future? Well, like day-to-day gameplay. What is the regular gameplay loop, day-to-day gameplay? What can people expect to experience within the game? Now, with all of that said, these 4 will not be in my Critter Code video. Why? Because I wrote the script and started working on the Critter Code video before I came up with this finalized list. But you'll also notice something about the Critter Code video. It is only a look at the first 2 hours of the game. It is not expansive. It does not cover everything in the game. And there's a big reason for this. I want your opinions, your thoughts about what I should add to this list, how important these things are to you, how unimportant some things are to you. And I really want to make this an all-encompass good thing so that when I come back to Critter Cove in a week or two to make the final review, we have the whole list already done. Okay? Okay. And with that said, I do want these to be things that I clearly show you. I'm not just giving you my opinion, I'm showing you things. Like the story is a little bit harder because I can explain elements of the story, but that gets very, very spoilery very quickly. So I can give you like the story beats and how I thought the story went. That's very opinionated, right? But things like settings, accessibility, art, music, even the individual game mechanics, I just show those on screen and I talk about them. And you can make an opinion for yourself. I can tell you if I like it or not, but you can also make a clear distinction for yourself based off of what you see. And this is something that I really want to build into this, right? The ability for you to judge not just from what I'm telling you, but from what I'm showing you, what the game actually has to offer. Just realized things like bugs could also be fun to show off here if done well. Make it a little jokey. So that's what I'm working on for the Critter Cove video specifically. Why? Because it's really the first or second game that I've been given a key for. And it's the first one that makes me go, oh my goodness, I've just slipped into this system here. I've been given an early copy before other people, and I'm suddenly incentivized to be that overly positive person. Okay. That's most of what I wanted to talk about. There's just one more issue, because when we talk about incentivization and channels, one thing always comes to the forefront, and that is money. Money! I currently work on everything for this channel for $0. That's right, $0. You might notice I have a join button for memberships under the channel. I do have members, a couple of them, not very many. Unfortunately for me, YouTube actually does withhold money until you get over $100, and then they'll pay it out. And that's mostly so that they're not losing money by paying money, whatever. So I've effectively made no money off of this channel at all. I've been given opportunities, but that's about it. Let me give a breakdown of how I would like monetization to work. The thing that I want the least is to be making my money through developers and publishers paying me to play their game for videos. Why? Because that ratchets all of this up to 100. I'm suddenly no longer incentivized. I'm basically mandated to make a positive video, despite the fact that it's illegal to mandate it. What's the next area that I would want to make money in? Well, the next area that I'd feel comfortable would be taking money from people directly. That's the membership system that we have right now. That's my Twitch subs, technically. Although the Twitch subs actually fit in a slightly different spot that I'm a bit more comfortable with usually. My problem is I don't like taking money from you, the viewer's pocket, basically. I don't like that being how I make money. So I don't want to do it. I don't like doing it. That said, memberships are there. What are my current plans? My current plans with memberships are to start making enough money off of ads on YouTube that I can cancel memberships. And what does it mean to cancel a membership? Well, if I hit the cancel membership buttons, it shuts down the entire membership system on my channel, and it refunds everybody that bought memberships for that month. All of them. Doesn't matter if they've been using it for 29 days. It refunds all of them. And I am perfectly happy with that. Perfectly happy. Now, I brought up ads. People hate ads. But I'm much more comfortable taking up 30 seconds of your time than trying to take $5 from your pocket every month. Much more comfortable with that. Now, what is the... First of all, there are different types of ads, right? I've already said I wouldn't want to be paid to play games. I would much rather take stuff like the Manscaped commercials or like those types of reads, because they don't really affect my positive or negative views on games. Those companies only care about if they're getting a return or how many people are seeing it, right? So it's a little bit different. Now, I'd still always be beholden to this positive negative thing because, again, my job to tell you. My job to tell you about games. If I'm not getting into games, then a little bit bad. What are some other ways? Well, for me, I don't have merch lines. I'm not really that big. I also not good at art. I do have Twitch subscriptions. which I posit are slightly better than YouTube subs or YouTube membership. Not because I make more money, because I don't. Twitch takes 50% of the payout, YouTube only takes 30%. So I actually make more money off of a $3 membership than I do a $5 sub on Twitch. I think it's better because Prime subs exist. So if you have an Amazon Prime account and you link your Twitch account to your Amazon account, you can choose any Twitch streamer who has basically their version of membership who can make money, and you can give them $2 and some odd cents of Amazon's money, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. I would much rather take money from the big corporation that is Amazon than I would from individual viewers. So that's why, currently speaking, that is the best way to give me money. Is if you already have Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch account, go to Twitch, and just send one a month, because they're non-recurring, which I love, by the way. They're non-recurring, and you have to choose to do it every month. Now. With all of that said and done, do I think this breaks me free from the cycle of, well, this whole thing? All of this. Oh, there's my YouTube schedule. My stream schedule. So like Twitch, YouTube stream, don't have it listed, or whatever. But do I think this breaks me from this cycle? No matter how much I'd want to say it wouldn't. It really would, because I'd still be, I'm still need these other developers, these publishers to give me games if I want to cover them early, right? There's no way I'm not getting them and still have to fall behind. But with that said, and what I'm hopeful is I'm building up to trying to talk about indie games. Not just the farming sim games, not just the cozy games, not just the life sim games. I want to talk about indie games. Why? Because if you find enough of these, it doesn't really matter as much if I'm behind another channel by a few weeks. I'll still have content to talk about. People will still have something to watch, and it won't affect me as much. Believe it or not, people do have the ability to wait a day or two after a game comes out for a review. And if we were making enough money, please subscribe, by the way, to get to that 1,000 subscriber so that we can make ad money. But if we were making enough money to actually be able to afford 2 or 3 games, 2 or 3 games every 2 weeks, I could just buy games when they release, make a quick review off of the first, 24 hours or so of me playing the game, or even like 16 hours, and we'll be fine with that. People will still get the first impressions, they'll still get the review, they'll still get my thoughts, and pre-ordering is terrible anyway. Just wait the extra day or two if you want my thoughts. And what are they going to do? Stop me? So yeah, that's my roller coaster of thoughts, this whole topic. Please remember that I want to look at these criteria. I want your thoughts on them, not just in how they work at this scale, but also with tomorrow's Critter Cove video that I'm putting out. I want to know how this works, and these 4 will be missing. These were not in my list when I wrote the script and started working on the Critter Cove video. Sorry that this video wasn't very related to gaming stuff. I've been making a lot of changes recently because of getting these keys, and I wanted to be very forefront about this, and I want you to have a voice in all of this as well. Sorry this was a bit long and rambling, and sorry if I'm coughing or stuttering at some points, or if I pause weirdly. I didn't want to edit this. This should come across like most of my streams do, with me just talking to you about a topic. Why? Because if I cut things, then you don't know what was cut, and it becomes a bit disingenuous. I'd rather have myself repeating something from time to time or missaying words rather than losing part of that. Also, this is DoitiEtok.com. This is hosted straight from the Google site. I don't know if they track anything. I don't. You can't even log into it. So all of my information is currently on here. I'm going to be working on this site over the next month or two probably, and also be doing things like adding streaming guides for people who want to get into streaming on YouTube or on Twitch. I guess thanks for watching. Thanks for the feedback, and thank you for the support. This was a bit of a somber video for me. Sorry.